Good day, everyone. Today, I will be presenting the accuracy and reliability of pre election surveys during the 2025 Philippine national and local elections, focusing specifically on the senatorial race. The goal of this presentation is to explore the relationship between pre election public opinion polls and the actual election outcome, and to better understand how much trust we should place in these survey tools. Pre election surveys are powerful. They don't just reflect public opinion, they shape it. These surveys influence media coverage, campaign strategies, and even how voters perceive a candidate's viability. This presentation also aims to evaluate how closely the Pulse Asia pre election survey conducted in April 2025 aligned with the actual senatorial results. Were the surveys accurate? Where did they fall short? And what can we learn from those gaps? Here we see the top 12 senatorial candidates based on the final Pulse Asia survey results. Bongo topped the list with 62.2%, followed closely by Erwin Tulfo, Tito Soto, Bato de la Rosa, and Bong Revilla. Others in the predicted winners circle included Manny Pacquiao, Abi Binay, and Willie Revillame, all names with high visibility in media or politics. Now let's compare that to the actual election results from the Commission on Elections as of May 15, 2025, with 97.37 of returns transmitted. Bongo maintained the top spot, but Bam Aquino wasn't even in the top 12 survey, placed second. Also elected were Kiko Pangilinan, Rodante Marcoleta, and Amy Marcos, all absent from the Pulse Asia projection. Let's break it down. First, the matches. Seven candidates appear in both the survey and the actual top 12. These include Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, Erwin Tulfo, Tito Soto, Pia Cayetano, Lacson, and Lito Lapu. However, five winners were not predicted: Bam Aquino, Pangilinan, Marcoleta, Villar, and Amy Marcos. Meanwhile, five high-ranking candidates in the survey, namely Willie Revillame, Ben Tulfo, Manny Pacquiao, Abi Binay, and Bong Revilla, did not win a seat. Let's analyze the discrepancies. Why the mismatch? Several factors likely influence the discrepancy between predicted and actual outcomes. The first one is the last minute voter shift, possibly triggered by endorsements by known and politically influential personalities or the campaign momentum. Second is the survey limitations, such as urban bias, exclusion of rural and youth voters, or underrepresented youth vote, and sampling errors. We can also include in the factors influencing the discrepancy is the late surge in support for reformist or issue-based candidates like Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan. And finally, a possible disconnect between media presence and ground campaign strength. If we quantify the accuracy, Pulse Asia correctly predicted 7 out of 12 winners, giving it a hit rate of 58.3%. This tells us that while surveys are useful, they are not highly reliable predictors. They offer indicators, but not certainties. It now raises the question, should we continue to rely on them as key references for campaign viability? Here are the recommendations. Don't overrely on survey rankings. Focus on community engagement and grassroots organizing. Use internal polling and local feedback for a more grounded pulse. Educate the public on how to interpret surveys critically, and always prepare for last minute shift because as we have seen, they can change everything. Possibly the pre-election surveys could be supplemented with the following: qualitative analysis using the feedback closer to election polling or conduct of surveys near the election. More inclusive sampling, perhaps all the sectors are represented. And consider also the methodology of survey. And lastly, surveys are mirrors, but imperfect ones. They reflect part of the picture but not the whole. Elections remain dynamic. What matters most is not just visibility and polls, but real connections with voters, consistent messaging, and credibility. Surveys are useful but imperfect mirrors of public sentiment. Political success is still earned through genuine connection, credibility, and consistency. Is that a yes? Comment down below.